Okay guys, in today's video we're going to assemble all of this, and I'm probably going to start building up some sort of LED system, add a bunch of decoration on it type thing, some really wild stuff using old electronic parts and some sprues from plastic models, some straws, probably even some steel mesh. So stay tuned and I'll be right back. Howdy guys, welcome to the cave. I'm Mark and you're watching Blue Street Customs. Alrighty then, so I've got the hot glue gun going. We're going to get right to this. So I'm going to start by gluing these down. Now remember, you got to keep 18 centimeters in between according to the rule books. So I've got this thin cardboard. It's actually cardboard, not cardstock. But you can use whatever you want for a base. You got plastic you can cut up, or thin cardboard like this, or some heavy cardstock. Go ahead and use it. You know, make whatever you want. So I'm going to start by putting one down. Electronics parts. These here are electrolytic capacitors. Now I got lots of them. I can always salvage more as well. So to decorate this thing up a bit, I'm going to use some of this stuff. Now I've got nice long skinny ones. Going to need a pair of clippers. Get rid of the leads on them. So I think one of those, maybe one of these big ones. Now I also have this little relay, and it kind of looks like some sort of electrical box for a starting gate. So I'm not even going to bother to paint this. I'm just going to add it on. So that'll probably be one of the last things to go, because I do want to paint these things. Maybe a couple of these smaller ones. So we're going to start with that first. And once I get this stuff on, we can then start to weather everything. Now I do plan on having a LED system in it for the lights, you know, just to make it look better. So I got one of these old tea lights, got the switch on it and everything, use a 3-volt coin cell, took the LED out of it. So I'm going to hook up wires to this, and I'm going to cut out a section here so I can get to the switch. Alright. Then I've got a couple of these bendy straws. So the wires will go up the straw and underneath, like so. I'll show you that better here in a minute. So let's start by putting some of these down. Now I have some of these little Nerf foam darts, and they had all these tips on the end of them, right? Now to me, I pulled them apart because I got an idea for these things. They almost look like an air raid sirens. Like those air raid sirens. So I cut a couple of them up. I got to cut the point off of them. So I'm going to put them on top. Now I'm not sure how this is going to take paint, or if it even will. Now this one I ended up putting in the wrong spot. So I'm going to have to pull this one off, because it's past the edge of the gate. Of course we can't have that. So since it's hot glue, it comes off nice. I just have to move it over. Now I am going to put ground cover on this. So this here, I'm going to cut one that's bigger. I was just showing you this stuff. But anyways, I want to go from here and bend it around like so, all the way around back to this one. But first I want to get this set up where I need it. I almost screwed that up. If I glued that down as it sits, I wouldn't be able to open this to put the coin cell in. So I'm just going to let that hot glue dry for a minute so I can peel it off. And then we're going to cut a bigger hole. Now we have access to it. So this here, once I do the wires, I can put this on. And I can paint this to look like a chunk of steel, like a steel bin or something like that. And it'll blend right in with the rest of it. My kitty cat is not making this very easy at the moment. So now what I want to do is, oh well, I want to connect some of this stuff like this. Now something I noticed when I was cutting this stuff up, hey, if you see the pattern, right, kind of like diamonds. So if I cut it a certain way, I can actually spread it out and twist it to make it look like barbed wire. So that's one thing I've learned while cutting that stuff off of what I got it from. So now I'm going to build a couple more of these things. So when I get this done up more, I'll be back and I'll show you. Alright guys, well, I got a bunch of this stuff glued on, so I'm going to give you a quick show here. These are like whatever, fuel cells, power banks, you know, whatever you want to use them as. I got that glued down. I still got to run my wires and the straw for it. And then there's this one. I also made these little electrical boxes if you want to use them as that, or control relays. Got a couple on top. Also put these little rubber sirens on. Got a pipe here. I had to take this one off because, again, it was too far over, so I have to move it a little bit. Now, I also made these little fences. Alright, and one for each side. Now I'm going to put those on later, but just to give you kind of a look of how it's going to be. Put the proper one on the proper side here. There we go. That's going to be something like that. A little fencing. Now I also cut up some 1/4 inch balsa wood dowels. Beat them up, you know, like just old wood posts. And those will get glued into the corners. All right, those will get glued in the corners, kind of like that, all the way around. But I'm going to leave that for later because I want to do ground cover first. And I still have to run some tubing, some conduit pipe from these things down somewhere, you know, make it look like electrical conduit. And these here, cotton swabs, now, if you get the right ones, they're polystyrene tubes. So you just take cotton off, and you get the nice little tube, I don't know if you can see that. There we go. You know, little plastic tubes. And that's all you got to do is just take cotton swabs off of them. Now, I suppose you can do it with the paper ones too, but the plastic ones to me are better because you can heat them up and curve them, whatever. So once I get those done, I'll tear the rest of these apart. I'll run some conduit on here. Then I can start painting some of it before I do my ground cover. And this mesh here, it's a metal mesh that I got at the dollar store, and I cut it out from a file folder holder. They're roughly about 30 inches or 30 centimeters tall. You know, probably about 8 centimeters or so, 10 centimeters wide. It had wire mesh all over it. I cut it out, got rid of the frame, and that's what I'm left with. So now I can use it up as fencing. So I will continue on with this, and I'll come back and I'll show you what I've got. Okay, guys. Well, I've obviously added on a bunch of stuff, you know, like pipes, vents, you know, a couple pipes up here. I've added to the electrical box here, added a couple more things, electrical conduit here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start painting this stuff, and I'm going to weather it, and then I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do for a base, or not a base, but like base covering, so ground texture. So I think what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to take some black, and I'll black this stuff first, and then we'll go from there. Okay, guys. So this is what I've got so far. Rusting things up. Now, I'm still going to do a bunch of oil streaks and stuff like that, like this here, you know, running down in different places. I'm going to get out the chalk pastels and start dusting up a few things, probably some of the oil paints as well, make up a few little washes and stuff like that. Get that all done up. And then after that, I'm going to do my ground cover and start putting up my fencing. So once I get the rest of this here on the go, I'll be back and I'll show you what I'm doing. Alright guys, I've got a bunch of stuff painted up here. Now, I've done a lot more than I was planning on doing. So there is going to be a third video, but I'm going to leave it off here for now. I'll give you a show what I've got. Now, as you can see, all the black areas, I've been putting oil marks down. You can see the oil streaks on the side. I put all the piping on for the conduit. You can see a bunch of the oil streaks here. Down in here, you can see the oil. All kinds of different spots. Up in here, did some weathering. Now I'm going to do a little more weathering yet. Some of it's a little hard to see, but in person you can see it a lot better. You can see a bunch of piping here. I still got to do the wiring and stuff for my lights, so in the next video I'll finish this off, put that pipe on. I'm going to do my LEDs, do the ground effects and the fencing. I've got my little electrical box right there. Got oil drips on it, things like that. Oil runs all over the place. So make sure you like, share, and definitely hit that subscribe. Hit that bell notification so you can get notified when I post videos. Let me know in the comments what you think of this. If you have any ideas of what else I should do, let me know. And until next time, later.